going on, Dealer Talk family? Here are my top 5 to watch for in the month of April. Number 1 is going to be review your GA. Lots of talk right now about website activity being up, but is that activity translating to sales? Whether it be vehicle sales or service, right? So it's not just about the activity being up, but what's the quality, which sources are driving the most engagement, but probably for me the most important thing right now are your goals. Do you have specific goals in your GA that are conducive to the current times? If you haven't adjusted your market goals, then you probably want to look at doing that, because things are different, and how we measure engagement, behavior, those things should also change as well. So as we look at our Google Analytics, I would make sure that we have day and week views or windows, right? Because that's going to be a lot more conducive to activity or performance. But then the other thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you have set up your SRP and BDP views, because that's going to tell you a more comprehensive story, right? So for example, we can see that there's a lot of traffic going to the website, but there's a lot of that traffic is not converting to an SRP or a VDP, right? So this could be just people that are going to the website for service, or people that are going to the website to just check what we're doing differently to address their concerns with the current situation. So if you don't have this set up, I highly suggest that you do that. And then also use that when you're looking at your sources to look at performance, right? So how is that activity that's being driven to your website converting to an SRP and a VDP view? But most importantly, goals. Like for this particular story, or for this particular store, they only have 2 goals in GA, and that's just not enough, right? So we want to make sure that we have goals, but not just any goals, specific goals to the current situation, and most importantly, what we're trying to measure. Number 2 is going to be digital retailing, right? Lots of conversations about this right now. The one thing I'm going to say about digital retailing is if you're a new store to digital retailing and you just put a widget on your website, that's probably not going to work, right? You have to, it has to be more focused on how you inform the audience on how to engage with that, and your internal processes to accommodate for this new way of doing business, if you will. Take a look at this quick clip from Brian Pash. Pretty much says everything as far as not just putting the widget on your website, but how can you make that successful.
As I mentioned, if you're going to embrace digital retailing, it's not Field of Dreams, build it and he will come. You're going to need to merchandise and market that there's a new way to purchase a car online. And of course, you may assume that consumers understand that you can do that, but don't assume, because here's what we find. Dealers who just put a digital retailing tool on their website have significantly less engagement and success when you compare it to dealers who have properly merchandised their website, simplified their call to action buttons, and put together a video marketing campaign to, well, tell consumers that it's faster, easier, mostly online, to save them time the next time they want to buy a car.
All right, so the most important thing that Brian mentioned here was mostly, right? The word mostly. A lot of times when I talk to folks about DR, even the stores that I consult with, for some reason, which is weird to me, they have this view of online 100%, and that's not the case, right? The expectation is still for customers to go to the dealership. This is not a Carvana type of experience. If it is for your particular dealership, then great. Make sure that you say that in your message. But if it's not, like most of the cases that I've seen, then you got to make sure that you tell that to customers, right? And I think this word sums it all, right? Okay, the next thing for me is going to be database marketing. You got to leverage your DMS, folks. Now is not the time to be scared. I've been talking to dealerships about this, and everybody's concerned about sensitivity. Look, there's customers that still need cars. There's customers that still need service. And there's no better audience than the customers that have already said yes to you and that continue to do so by servicing their vehicle at your store, right? Plus, now more than ever, you have a reason to call them, right? All the other times that we call customers and we don't have a reason, and now we actually have a reason to call customers and we're afraid to. So don't be afraid to leverage this information or your database, right? Now is the time to get in touch with these folks. We have some great incentives in the market right now. So, let's make sure that we tell that we have that message out there for the customers who do want to purchase a vehicle, right? So here's an example of a campaign and strategy. So here's an email campaign that I've sent out with one of the stores that I work with, and then we printed out that list from the CRM and had folks in the BDC call these customers, and we also uploaded the list to Facebook, and we're doing some custom audience marketing as well. So listen, again, we have some really good incentives in the market right now. Let's get this information out there, and for the people that is relevant, let's make sure that they're aware. Okay, social media is going to be the most effective way to connect with your local audience. Remember, 10 to 30 miles. This needs to be your focus right now, because here's where you're going to have the most control, right? If you're picking up cars, dropping off cars, picking up customers, doing offsite test drives, 10 to 30 mile radius, that's where you're going to have the most control. So keep things local, and Facebook is the most effective, cost-effective, non-invasive way to do that. Let's take a look at a quick example here of an ad that I'm doing for one of the stores that I work with.
Our employees are your neighbors, your friends, and your family. That is why it is so important to take care of you, our customers, and our employees during this uncertain time. In order to promote safe social distance at our dealerships, we are happy to offer hands-free purchasing options to you, our customers. Simply log on to StephenWade.com to browse our inventory. When you find the perfect vehicle for you and your family, contact a sales representative to start the sales process. We will walk you through the paperwork over the phone, and a sales representative will deliver the paperwork for you to sign with your new car, truck, or SUV. We offer off-site test drive options within a 40-mile radius. Please visit StephenWade.com for more information. We look forward to working with you.
So there it is. I mean, something like that, I would make sure that you have something for parts, something for service, and then obviously like the one that we saw for sales, right? And then run those, and then encourage your staff to share, right? Sharing is key. This is what's going to help you with engagement. So make sure that they're sharing, and then make sure that they're creating their own content, right? They can share with their networks about the things that are different, and make sure that they're posting and sharing that as well. Social media is where it's at right now. This is what I would be focusing a lot of my budget, a lot of my efforts, because again, it's the quickest way to get the message out there to a local audience, which is who you should be targeting right now. Okay, the last thing is going to be Google My Business, or your GMBs. I'm not going to get into specifics about GMBs. I'm just going to share 2 quick strategies with you, so let's go check those out. Okay, strategy number 1 is make sure that you're leveraging the ads portion of your Google My Business pages, so that you can include information here about what's different, right? What's different for parts, what's different for service, what's different for sales. You can also do service ads, and you can also post inventory on here. But probably this is going to be the most relevant information right now, so make sure that you have that you capitalize on that spot. Remember that Google's objective is to keep people on Google as long as possible, right? So the more information you have on your GMB, the more relevant you're going to appear, and it's just going to help you with SEO and optimization, things of that nature. And then again, it's a great way to connect with the local audience, right? Strategy number 2 is to split up your GMB, folks. Make sure that you have a sales GMB, but then also make sure that you have a service GMB. Now, I know in the past Google has looked at this negatively, but now it's actually considered a best practice, especially for car dealers. Think about this area, which has been a contention of frustration in the past, where we couldn't, we had to have one or the other because service or sales information is different, their schedules are different. Now with a separate service GMB, you can have accurate information for your service department. Unfortunately, this dealership isn't leveraging the post, but you could post service ads on here as well, or service content on here for free. The only thing that I would highly suggest that you're paying attention to is that you say that it's located within the sales one. But now you can have 2 different strategies. So especially now in areas where there's shutdowns or sales are shut down, this is a great way for you to promote your service department as well. So yeah, highly suggest that you look at doing that. So there it is, folks. Those are my top 5 for the month of April. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm here to help. look, I know things are difficult. It's a difficult time, but let's not forget the opportunity that's in front of us to improve, right? There's an opportunity right now. All these times that we've pushed things to the side because of time constraints. Now we have time. Now we have an opportunity to clean our websites, to clean our dealers, to just to do anything and everything that we can so that we can come back when we do come back to just a better environment, better strategies, and most importantly, we're ready to capitalize on the inevitable activity, pent-up activity and demand that's going to be waiting for us. So take care, everybody. I'm here to help, and as usual, we'll talk later. Bye.